I've come to Princess Royal Hospital. It's Princess Royal Hospital, University Hospital, Princess University Hospital, because I sent a 13-page letter explaining the abuse that I've had for almost 3 decades from alopecia acinola. This is where I started having hallucinations. I call it hallucinations now because I can't think of a word as I'm recording, but I've explained it better in the letter. And I wrote a 13-page letter to Princess University Hospital back in May, and I think it's the 1st of July now, and I'm going to have a talk with them and make sure that they've received my letter and they have my letter, because my name was dragged through the mud and I was embarrassed at my workplace for having quote-unquote mental issues, which the nurses here said was not related to anything like serious, like a disease, but from that I needed professional counselling, and they emphasised that it's professional counselling that I need, because the NHS mental institutions or mental health centres do not deal with professional cases. They deal with people who have real psychological and psychosis issues. And unfortunately I was detained here for 6 weeks because I injured myself under this attack I was having, and I've never done it before. I've never in my life self-harmed before, but I'd basically had enough. My body had stressed enough, my head had had enough, and the only reason why I was detained for only 6 weeks was because they said, you are so cognizant, you came here immediately, you started asking for who was in charge, you started asking about your employer, if you can speak to your employer, if you can make sure that if I could make sure that my employer knew my whereabouts, knew what was going on with me, because I was worried about keeping my job. And essentially I was taken by my abuser to this place, and she was my next of kin. That's Green Park's house where I was kept. That's there. So I was detained in this building. It was one of these buildings, A or F or something, but it's definitely this side because that was my entrance and exit. And I was detained at a mental ward for 6 weeks, and they said that you show more cognition than your mother. Your mother seems to be the one who needs help. And they said that if you had not had self-harmed, if you had not had injured your chest, you would not need to be here. You would not need to be detained here. This place is not for people like you. It's not for you. You need professional counselling, and they emphasise professional counselling. I don't know how the NHS system is going to change where normal working people can get professional counselling. So that is people who are not diagnosed with anything, who are not under like severe mental stress, who don't have any previous history of, anything that happened in their childhood or any kind of disease or anything. I don't know what it's going to take for us to get free professional counselling here in the UK, because if I got professional counselling, I would have to pay it out of my pocket, and I can't afford it in the UK, and I can barely afford it living in London. So that was my situation, and this was the hospital. This is the kind of like more hospital side, and this is basically where I was in April 2020.